Hello. Just getting things going. Almost set up. Just gotta put on some music. I'm still feeling trip hop if you're hoping to listen along. I've got a lot of Portishead. I don't actually know how to pronounce their name. And like DJ Shadow, Massive Attack stuff today. Very chill, very relaxing. And I am starting early today because I want to finish this thing, and I'm going to stay until I finish this thing because we're so close. I've made this little scribbled out checklist of what else I want to see in this render before I can consider it done. And that shouldn't take long. That shouldn't take long. These shouldn't take long. It's probably just this that's going to actually take some time. And that's it. And then we're free. Because I want to get on to all of the other things that I want to actually make. And it was fun to do a big voxel room, but I kind of want to get on to making more rigged creatures. And we got to finish this up if I'm ever going to get to that. So, yesterday I ran into a problem when we tried to make a test render to see if our book pages would flip. And we got pretty close, but something was wrong with the render. It would render out black. I don't think it still will. I think I found it. Let's test it. Fingers crossed. Hi, Zergling. How's it going? Yeah, okay, that was right. That was the right thing to do. Okay, so what I found was that I, totally off camera, was goofing around in the compositor and did not hook this back up. So that I do this so that I can see the image in the background. I hook it up into here so that you can see the actual image of your render in the background. But if you don't hook it back up, it will render black. It should be obvious, should be totally fine, but I forgot that I did that because I did this so early on. I was experimenting with the idea of having a bit of glare, a little bit of bloom around the windows, just to soften out the light a little bit more, a little extra pizzazz. And I fiddled with some settings here, but nothing hopefully too egregious. Just a little bit of bloom, a little soft lighting. Hi, a lethal jelly bean. Thanks for coming to hang out. Let's see. I have a few more things I want to actually do before being okay with this. Just for later, I'm going to make sure that I have that available. And just in case I want to not use this backdrop later, I'm going to go into, where is it? Film. Okay, transparent is ticked. Okay, good. So if I turn this off and remove it from the render, turn off and remove from render and render it out, I should have no background getting in the way. So quick test. Just a still image render. Yes, exactly. So that means we can animate our own background gradient texture things if we want to. That will be absolutely unaffected by anything like lights, blender materials, or anything like that. And we get to keep a little bit of our bloomy clouds here. That's nice. Though looking at it standing out so much on its own, the moon is looking a little too flat. So I'm going to try something. If I just turn it a little bit, make it 3D again. It still leaned a little too much toward the camera. I guess it kind of has to be. I don't see any crazy jaggy behavior going on, but I also don't see a lot of shadow depth. Like this color, same as this color. Not a lot of push and variety. Probably not the worst thing in the world. It's not, you know, I would like to see a bit more like shadow color going on there, but I don't think it's worth fighting it to mess with any of the other shadow intensity. So we're just going to leave it alone. Leaving that alone, we're going to animate a cat. Let's go animate a cat. And push our timeline back out. So everything is parented up to the body. And I think we did do a little bit of bobbing animation. Yes, okay. It floats. And everything should probably happen within 80 frames of animation. Okay. Seems good, seems floaty. What do I want to do here? Do I want to like tilt the head a little left and right? I think I want to animate the little ghost sheet flap as well, and the tail. The tail is probably the big thing to focus on. So maybe we can get some easy wins with the tail. Okay. I'm not actually going to do any rig for this. It's just parenting and then moving these around. Let's see, we start here. Maybe it'll have a little up cone there. So I'm going to make a current frame for your rotation. And then about frame 10, X that up a little bit and key that again. I should probably do the same for the others. Okay, and on frame 10, you are going to go maybe a little earlier, and then after frame 10, I'm going to give you a little snapback. Okay, like that. And maybe we can do the same here. Your rotation. Oh, not you. You. This one. Okay. I think I just don't feel this one. No, I'm going to go ahead and move backwards. Here, delete these frames until I get something I want. I'm going to delete those. No, not the object, the frames. Just the frames. Okay, so we're nice and static. It's just the body, and we don't have these confusing extra frames to fight. That's good. So on the way up, the tail should be probably down and then swing up. So up. And at the highest point, at frame 20, we're going to make it that way. Okay, key, rotation. Frame 20, RX, local X. Key, rotation. And copy this, and then on frame 40, paste. Okay, try that again. Okay. Not backwards, just play it. Now to make that a little bit snap back. And then maybe we can mess with easings later on. But for now, just getting the position in mind. Not the best, but it'll do. So we're going to start you from here. All your key exists. Nope, it does not exist. Ah, I lost it too. That's fine. We'll do it again. All of you get to have a rotation key. And on frame 20, hold on, maybe just the regular z-axis. Maybe I should have just rigged it. I should have just rigged it, but I don't want to now. Maybe that's a little better. Okay, let's go ahead and give it a key and try it out. All of you get rotations. I don't think I had to do this one by one. I just chose to arbitrarily. And let's delete that one just to be Save. And this too. Whoosh. And then I'm going to copy all of your frames. Give me all this. All of this data. Copy it. Frame 41. No, what happened? Did you not get? Okay, you have it, you have it, you have it. Okay, we'll try that again, I guess. Quoi? Hiya, Jojo. How's it going? Maybe I should just clear all animation data on the tail and try one more time and just not get confused along the way. Doing pretty good at lunch. Nice. What's for lunch? Am I even grabbing your rotations correctly? It says that it is, right? These remained constant. Why did they remain constant? And nothing else did. This is happening on tail 2. I don't know. But it's not copying the rotations across from any of the other frames. Yep, all of it goes away. No, just the frame data, not the tail. Okay, tail is utterly unmoving. No frames of any kind exist. Now, should I just apply its current rotations so it has some place to like return to? You're eating souls for lunch, really? Do you live in a From Software game? They're very fond of those there. Do you get your lunch from Gablan? Gablan wheel, Gablan deal? If I did, I wouldn't last long. Well, that's the fun part. Nobody really dies. People die all the time, but they don't like die. You know, it's like a suggestion. Can I just zero everything out? Is that going to be gnarly to do? Because I think that's where I'm at. I think I'm just going to, yeah, just -90. And Control A, your rotation. That is now your native rotation. You, same deal. Nope, nope, nope. Except RX 90, -90. And applying your rotation because I can't be trusted. X -90, Control A, rotation. Nope, nope, nope. RX -90 and applied. Good. Now we start positioning it for the keys. We are at the bottom swing of the float. So maybe we swing it upward just a bit. But I don't want the whole tail to be like all the way up, right? Okay. Just to see. Okay, rotation. Let's go. Lower, maybe. Okay. Try that again. Rotation. Frame 20. We should have the upswing to account for. That seems okay, I guess. Hopefully. Okay, rotation. And now, copy this. Frame 40. Paste. What happens? What is happening when that happens? All of you are selected. Your frames are copied and then pasted. And then everything breaks. Can I just do this one at a time? Okay. And you, I'm gonna grab your... Oh, it just won't even do it. There we go. I don't think this is gonna work either. I think if something is truly broken, the solution is not in here, but... I mean, I don't know, maybe. Why? Why are you like that? Note to self, be nice to Summer today after the tail shenanigans. It should not be difficult. And yet, I mean, it's kind of doing the thing though. It's doing the thing, it's just not natural looking yet. Because I'm not really messing with a lot of dynamic rotations. I'm just like, just the one axis until I figure out what's going on. So what I've gathered is if you're going to copy and paste the frames one by one, not all together on parented stuff. They don't like that. I don't know why they don't like that. They don't seem to like that. Would not be a problem if I rigged it, but I refuse to do that now. Can I at least like shift all of their positions on the timeline? So they're a little bit more behind the body. Yeah, it just does not work. No, stop grabbing the... Yeah, stop, 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 stop. Okay, just grab this. So maybe I want it to happen a little bit before it hits the bottom. I suppose. Which means all of this gets to move. And let's just play with the easings. Maybe it'll start looking a little better now. Nope. Maybe this. Too snappy. Push it down a bit. Try again. Nope, still too snappy. Switch it back to linear and then push it on to Bezier. It's a little bit more flexy now. What do I want to have happen here? Maybe it's you need to push further down. Try this. Rotation. And then on here, I push you even further down. Is that? I might leave it there. If I had rigged the tail, then maybe I would do some more dynamic stuff. But that might be good enough for me for now. And if we have time near the end, then we can come back and do some more dynamic stuff. You have some position data. Why do you have it? I haven't messed with you yet, as far as I know, so that goes away. And stays okay. Good deal. I am going to start with your location rotation. And then on frame 20 or 22, like a snapback, we're just going to push it up a little bit. R, X, and try that. Copy this, and on frame 40, it should go back to normal. Let's give it a run. Not terribly visible because of like the monochromatic nature of the cat, but just a little bit of motion so that it becomes a living creature in the scene and not just a static object. That is the goal. So this is not our centerpiece, so let's not get overly attached. Oh, there's so many little flappy things I put down here. Do I need all of this though? Like, does it really break apart if I don't have it? Because that's so many parts to animate. I don't want to have to do all that. What if I scale this up? No. All right, that has to be there. Fine. It works really well, so I keep it personally. Yeah, they get to stay. Let's go ahead and get all of their... I should just grab from here, so I don't have to manually select all of these every time. Why did the back flap not get grabbed? Okay. Is that my fault? Probably my fault. In any case, it's selected now, so. Insert keyframe. And I think we're just gonna do rotation on these. There's so many pieces. That's fine. They're not parented to each other, so they shouldn't give us the same trouble that the tail gave us. Fingers crossed, knock on wood, all of that stuff. Big sip of tea. Here we go. Now, I think when it hits that height, it should be in its current position. So frame 20 is where I actually want these to be. And at the bottom, I want them all fanned out. Not that way. That way. Maybe I'll just do it through here so they all stay even. Negative 25. What was it? Like positive 25? Nope. Also negative 25. Because I didn't rotate that piece when I added it, so. 25? Nope, not that way. Rx negative 25. Are you going to give me the same trouble? Rx negative 25? Nope, because I rotated you. Because I'm just like that. Rx positive 25. And you're going to be fussy, aren't you? Like, if I put 25 on both of you, is it really going to be crazy? Yep. Of course. Maybe it is just the one. If it's grabbing the local rotation, maybe it's okay. Okay. Well, at least there's an easy one. Not that way. Not that way either. What? What did I do here? What did I do different? Yeah. So this should be RY negative 25. But it's not. I don't care. That's close enough. That's what we'll do. That'll do. And now grab all of these. Okay, rotation. And copy and paste. It kind of has a jellyfish vibe. Having fun. Yes, I am. I am having so much fun you would not believe. I love being frustrated. By art in particular. Oh, why did I do that? There. Just moving that back to center is all I was trying to do anyway. Yeah, I think I'm happy with that. Maybe the cat could look left and right, like have some kind of head activity. Let's finish out the loop for the whole piece, because we're going to have to copy and paste a lot of frames all the way across the timeline. Up, down, up, down, paste. Down, up, down, paste. Just a little more. Almost there. Done. If I disappear, you'll know it. I am not bringing violence into. I have updated my profile rules to be like, okay, no violence. Just to be sure. Did my little avatar stop working again? Why is that happening? Like, she just stops talking after a while when I talk. Blah, blah, blah. Blah, blah, blah. Blah, 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 blah. I don't know. La da da. Yeah, no way to fix it. It just decides to stop. Whatever. I will accept it as a bug. Just know that. Oh, and now she's talking again. I'm being gaslit. I have trust issues with this program now. I might try a different program. Maybe it's not the program's fault. Maybe it's me. It's usually me. But alas. How do I want the cat to look around? All right, I haven't even finished pasting all of these frames. That comes first. Last one. There we go. And that's all the little flaps flapping in the breeze. And what else? The arms. Oh. Copy that. Frame 40. Paste. I could be playing Digimon right now. I finally got the new Digimon game And this cat is making me think of Bakemon. Everything is just making me think about Digimon right now. Okay, the hands, the flaps, the bobbing, and the tail. Of course. One by one. Totally fine. We're going to have to accommodate for this little, like, before and after here. Just to make it even. I think it's like 2. Yeah. No, it's not. It's more than that. Hold on. That means all of you need to be accommodated. So at 36, so that's 5. It's 4 frames behind. Okay. So all of these middle frames need to also be 4 frames behind. 1, 2, 3, 4. And you. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Now we're even Stevens. Is it gonna actually let me do this time? Seemingly. Why this is all that I wanted to have happen the first time. Why is it doing it now? I didn't want to do it before. You calling me a nerd because I like Digimon? You sound like somebody that plays Pokemon though. So how's that going? I'm sorry, that was mean. For no reason at all. Just teasing. I lost my place for a second. I was checking my music. Here I think. And paste. And paste. And paste. Thrilling. Stream. Watching me paste frames. I know, but we have to get through this part to get to the fun part. Okay, the cat, as I understand it, is animated. Yes. I'm just fighting words. No, I changed my rules. They said no violence. I also updated the stream alerts. I just figured that out today. I didn't really know how to do this, and I'm not really sure it'll work, but we'll see. I guess when someone follows, if the stream alert thing worked or not. But there should be a little bat that will go off in the corner. But now I know how to change that little image out. So maybe we can make some custom alerts and stuff over time. I should save this. Oh my goodness. Yeah. I hear the thing and I see it. Yeah. It works. I didn't get to see the oh, that was you. Thanks. Thanks for helping me test it. Thank you, Jojo. Live testing. Kind of got jump scared by it for a second. Hold on, I'm recalibrating. What's left to animate? What's on my little scratch pad, actually? Got the cattail. I might not move the moon around. maybe the clouds, the candlelight flickers. I think we can just make a few cubes that sort of scale in and out around the candle to do that, or we can take the light sources themselves and key their power. Like right now it's 5.2, but if I increase it, it'll kind of warble the light, you know? Maybe I could do both. So that should be easy to do. That shouldn't take but a few minutes. What's the worst stuff? Let's get that out of the way now. While I am in the mood for agonizing over details. So everything else will feel like an easy win near the end. It's going to be easy. I think it'll be easy. This will probably give me trouble. How do I want to do sparkles? Because how I have it in my head is taking this into Sprite or importing an Sprite animation of some pixel art sparkles. And I don't know if I can import a GIF with alpha and have it play as like an image in the scene. I guess that's worth doing now then, to see if that's something we should do within Blender or not. I could do what we did before with the book pages and then have like 4 frames of a voxel object sparkle so that it shifts between object to object as the frames play. But I don't really like the idea of that because the only way to test it is to actually render out the scene. It doesn't show in the render viewport. And if I have to iterate on that, I don't really have the flexibility to do it. So I'm going to try, first attempt, save this. Oh man, it takes so long to save now. And open Sprite. If it lets me open anything first. Whoop. I need to make sure that that starts over here and not over there. I need to make sure Sprite does not start through Steam at all. There's a way to do that. I just don't remember what it was. Oh, I have to update too? Oh, that makes me less inclined to do this. It's just an Sprite update though. It probably won't take terribly long. So yeah, there we go. It's already done. Okay. Cool. We don't have to waste time talking about the weather. Well, new, probably 8x8 max. Not a lot. Just making a little sparkle. And to make our little sparkle, I'm going to pick a nice canary yellow here. And where's my pen? Turn the mirror on. I need this sprite to actually be probably 7 then. 7x7. I'm just going to pull this so that it works on the half voxel. Same with you. Come on. Up. There we go. Okay, that's not a lot of space. Let's increase our size. 13. Let's try 13. I immediately miss the very controlled zoom in and out that I have when I'm working in Blender. That's okay. All right, that gives us a lot more room to make our sparkle. I'm going to start with the max size of it. And give it a little curve. I still think it could be bigger. Yeah, I still think it could be bigger. My music stopped again. Why did that happen? Okay, music is back. How many more pixels do I actually need to do this? Let's try 19. That's what? Oh, no, 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 no. I feel like you're messing with me again, and I'm not sure how. I'm also not going to humor it. Okay. Stretch that a little further forward. Twenty-three. And I kind of want it to be more vertical. Or even if I turn the bottom symmetry off, I might make this a little smaller. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 2 and 2, and then 1. And maybe even by 1 more here. Nah, we'll leave that part. There we go. I think that's sparkly enough for me. And I'm just going to add a frame and start animating it backwards. Because that's easier for me. All I have to do now is erase. Erase, erase 1 pixel at a time, and then we'll just remove frames as we want it. Boop, 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 boop. Maybe I'll skip a step on this one because I don't think it looks terribly pretty. Okay, let's give it another. Nope, that was too many. There we go. Maybe I can invert a little bit our sparkle. Like that. For a frame. Not this one. I think that one didn't work. All right, let's try it again. Okay, I'm just going to add one empty frame here. I'm going to copy all of this. Control C. Can you paste flipped frames? No, I don't think you can you? Yeah, okay. You can't paste flipped frames. No problem. I'll just copy, paste, copy, and paste. See, we come here, make a new one, paste, paste. One by one, almost there. Alt in, grab the final frame. Actually, that won't be needed, I think. And now we just remove what we don't want to speed it up. I think the fourth can go. So you and you get to go. Maybe I'll make this hold for a little bit. Or exceptionally shorter. That's kind of cool. I don't know if that'll work when we export it, but all right, let's try to export it. As a little GIF. Oh, that's weird. It won't let me. Huh. It's not terribly cool, but we'll just do this. Sprite GIF. Small frames forward. And should work. And what else do I need to do? Probably save it. Sparkle. Ace. Let's go back into Blender. Open our scene and try to import something and see if it works. It'll take me a minute to get back to the render though. What happened here? Is it still loading? Oh, thank goodness. Oh my goodness. Oh, my heart can't take it. Okay. Shift A. Let's see if we can add a background image. Is that going to behave if I try that? Where to go? Is it just incredibly small? Where did you get added even? Is it here? This is where my GIF would be if I had one. Just wanted to jump scare you a little. Yeah, it's very good at that. I would like it to be less good at that. This thing should be 14 meters tall. So where is it? Because this is an empty. I feel like you're lying to me. I don't think it worked. I don't know actually how to make it work either. Let me do a quick Google to see if you can import a GIF as a background image. GIF under GIF images into Blender. Oh, short answer as of 2014 is that you can't. Used to a format that Blender understands. Image sequence? I mean, that's kind of what it is. Oh, if it can do an image sequence, then I can... Okay, hold on. It can import an image sequence? Maybe. That is the delusion that we're going to suffer under for just a minute, and we're just going to export this as an image sequence instead. As PNG files, new folder, sparkle, anim, sparkle frame. Okay. And I'll frames forward. Do I want to export it in? Yes, yes. That is exactly what I'm after. Okay, lunch is over. Have a good rest of your stream. That'd be nice. Start messing with you. Oh, it's fine. I hope you have an excellent rest of your day. Hope you had a good lunch. I'll see you next time around. What was I doing? Right, we're going to import our sparkle anim. I think we just grabbed the folder, right? Or maybe it'll do that way. It looks like it should be there. It's still not there. Like, this is where it's supposed to be. So what happened? Art, animation, frames, 3D, scene, Blender. I love that there's a tutorial for everything. Maybe we'll be okay. So let's delete this, and we're going to start following this little tutorial. I'm gonna save it first in case I mess something up. File, import, images. I don't see that. Am I blind? Yeah, I don't see import images as an option. Yeah, there's no import images in that menu. So that was a lie. Uh-huh. Maybe this used to be true? There's got to be a way to do this that is sane and totally reasonable. Image. Should we render it as a like texture on a mesh plane? I don't think that'll work, really. We can try. Detect image sequences. Okay. Principled shader. Tethered. Yeah, probably. Probably shadeless. I think I would want shadeless, but maybe I can change that later. Linear, yes. That sounds right. Alpha. Yeah, alpha is available. Auto refresh, sure. Make the planes track the camera. I think so. I think that's what I want. Yeah. 1 meter size. Oh, oh goodness, something's happening. No, not like that. Whatever you did, that wasn't it. How did... What is the use case of this? Nope. I think that it is too much to ask to do this inside of Blender. We're going to export the frames without background, and we're going to do this in either Clip Studio, because Clip Studio will not give us this trouble, or a sprite. But a sprite is going to mess with our resolution, so I think Clip Studio is the way to do this with our sanity intact. I'm glad we had the experiment, but that is where the loss of my sanity stops. Okay, sparkles in clip. Post. Candlelight and fairy light flickers. These are the last things I think we can do inside our scene here, and then we should be good to go. Maybe I'll make a new collection. New collection. If it lets me. There you are. Okay. Candle flickers. And I'm just going to copy set origin to the geometry. There we go. And there's our little candle flicker shape. And I just want to make sure that you're in the right collection. Oop, there we go. Flicker. And this is going to go over here. I don't think I actually have to apply anything for this to work. And I don't want that bottom face getting in my way. I don't think I grabbed the right face here, did I? This one. Pretty much all of the back faces I don't think I need. They're just kind of confusing the shape. So let's get rid of them. Only what is seen from the camera. That seems pretty good to me. And I'm going to key the scale of it. And shrink that down. Key the scale. I think that's good. It just needs to happen faster. Maybe it should be on a constant. Doesn't really seem to be that impactful having the side images here. Maybe it should just be a plane. Hiya! Averinyet. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that right, but hiya and welcome. Voxel for voxel modeling. Yes, I am importing from Magicavoxel. I actually have the link nearby for the importer that I'm using. It is here. And I just had put like for this effect, I'm just using a shader that we've been putting together here on stream. Let me get out of edit mode here. Oh, is it gonna let me move again? Okay, it is. Where all I've done is add an ambient occlusion to the edges. That's this down here. And then I've done some toon shader up near the top, where I just have a few bands of on a constant color ramp that are grabbing the vertex colors of the model themselves. And then just bumping up the saturation and contrast and messing with the value into the bands of the shadow. So, what was I doing? Blah, I was over here. I was trying to make a little candle flicker. That's what it was. But I hope that is helpful if you're thinking of pulling some Magicavoxel stuff into Blender. I've loved over the years what Magicavoxel's native renderer can do. It's just that I wanted to do some actual 3D space animations that aren't like destructive to the shape of the model themselves, like, you know, the tail wagging of the cat or the floating book and stuff like that. So do you do any voxel art? It's not that it's bad, it's just that it's not adding enough to justify it. So I think I'm going to just cancel that idea. It's kind of overcomplicating a very small detail area when we could probably just get away with keying the light and scaling from there. You used to manually create Minecraft models by editing JSON files. What? Via text editor many years ago. That is crazy. That's cool. See, that is way more intimidating than I think I would ever try. Buy a text editor. Dang. Let's see. I'm just going to key this at the start of the animation and go a few frames and make it more stronger and give it another key. And just like everything else we've done in the scene, copy the frame, go an even number of frames back out, and paste. I don't think we want to loop this across the whole animation, but having a few intermittent flickers might be a nice finishing touch. You know, it makes me think of if there are voxel editors you can just program in to create the shapes. So you're telling the program via code what shapes you want and where you want them. That is like truly seeing into the matrix stuff for me. My mind is blown. I'm sure that things like that probably exist. I don't know if they exist for voxels yet, but I don't see why not. It seems like a very attainable thing to do. It's a very constricted style. I feel like you could be able to talk to it and say, I want something that's 10 voxels wide, 10 voxels tall, and every third voxel should be neon pink, right? In actual code or something leveraging node-based visual programming. I wonder if you can create the basic things you need with code and touch up afterwards. Yeah, just the basics with code and sculpt the rest. I don't know. I mean, I would imagine it's possible. Oh, that's way too fast. Okay, maybe a couple more frames. Okay, yeah, I think the idea is to mess with constants here. You've thought about creating voxel editing software for many years? I mean, I love trying voxel editing software, so if you wind up climbing that or taking that journey, let me know and I'll try it out. Somehow led to a performance programming rabbit hole. Ooh, yeah, that is also probably going to happen. Made no actual progress. You can tell me about some niche things my CPU can do? I mean, go off, King. Or Queen, I don't know. We'll see. Maybe I can just paste that over here. Let me try to stretch this out a little bit. I can probably... I don't know. I don't really know how to make this happen in a way that's like a believable candle flicker of... Tell me which CPU I have. A... Give me a minute. Intel? Hold on. Like the processor is a Intel i9, if that is the thing. Should be some numbers after that. Okay. Hold on, let me get my robot voice going. 13980 HXX24. Is that correct? That might be it, I think. Yeah, just a little scale down. Should do it. I don't think we need the start for anything other than... Yeah, and that can stay there. Like that. Okay. I'm just going to do the same thing over here then. I sound like I'm supposed to be helping you complete your self-checkout. Thank you for shopping with us. That's a pretty solid CPU. Thank you. I think it's done a pretty good job so far of helping me make some art. I'm not sure if Eevee actually... Why am I trying to scale a light when I'm really trying to wave the power around on it? I'm not sure if Eevee uses the graphics. It should be, but like... I don't know if it's using the graphics card or the CPU to render because it does not allow me to choose. It should be using the graphics card by default though, right? Right? That sounds right. I don't know why anyone would want to do it otherwise. Oh, not that. That. Okay. Eevee always uses GPU. Awesome. That is a huge relief off of my mind. I can't really tell unless it says it somewhere, and it says it exactly nowhere, as far as I know. Even in like the preferences, and I go and I'm like, blah, blah, blah. Here, yeah, it says like cycles render devices. There's nothing anywhere that says like Eevee render devices or anything like that, you know. So I just never knew what it was doing. Okay, let me just copy that. Frame 10 and frame 15. Copy you, paste. Copy you and paste. Is that just too much motion for no reason, though? Maybe I should go ahead and wipe this and do the same thing so that it matches, at least in timing. The scale down on 5. Yeah, okay, that's what we're going to do. Power is totally fine. Actually, I don't think it is. I think it was higher than this originally. Yeah. Like it bled into here. I think it was like, yeah, that sounds right. 10. Frame here. Gonna shrink it to 5. And key it. CPU has special instructions for accelerating the AES encryption algorithm, other cryptographic algorithms, and neural networks. That sounds like a lot. Paste, and then another dip in strength, and copy that, and paste. Now they should be uniform. Awesome. Honestly, it's kind of not. I can't really pretend as though I understand what most of that is, you know? I don't know how much of that is like expected behavior for a CPU or technological advancement over like recent technological advancement or anything like that. Do I see your... Okay, awesome. Now I can just kind of move that around the timeline. You are free to move about the timeline. There we go. I just want a couple of these, not a lot. Let's see if that's too distracting. Once we let the whole animation play. It just seems very artificial. It doesn't feel like a natural light flicker. I'm kind of wondering if I'd just like decrease the strength of the light warble to like very faint and then just have it kind of be constant, because it just stays static for so long. And if I move it around this much all the time, I think it's just going to be too much. Too much, yes. It's magic rainbows and unicorns. To me, I mean, kind of. But those neural networks instructions could theoretically be repurposed for convolution kernels in image processing. Neural network instructions could theoretically be repurposed for convolution kernels. Convolution kernels. You can see my cogs are turning in real time. I'm not trying to play dumb. I just don't really know what that is for, really, in image processing. Convolution kernels. Yeah, I don't really know. But like CPU helps GPU make image, right? If you have 2D image editing software, there's usually a convolution kernel filter. Okay. Okay. It can be used for blurring, sharpening, edge detection, and more. In fact, that's how they're often implemented. Oh, okay. Okay. So these kind of like post-processing behaviors, messing with like the blur, saturation, stuff like that. So that's all CPU side, not GPU. I'm learning a lot today. I feel like this project has made me learn a lot just in general. Like, there were a lot of things in Blender I was just not comfortable with until this project forced me to get familiar with it. But also just the people that have come in have taught me a lot. I like that my experience on Twitch so far has just been really niche experts in various things, either in Blender or in like CPUs and stuff, come into the chat and then like blow my mind with a bunch of stuff. I'm really enjoying that. Okay, depending on how the program is implemented, I suppose. I think most image processing programs rely primarily on CPU. You know, I was originally like, when I figured out that Inkscape is doing things, I think, primarily through your CPU. And the only reason I found this out, I was frustrated because I was trying to convert a they have a feature that you can use to convert like a static drawing into curves, like vector curves. And it struggled so much to do it. And then I was trying to figure out why and looking up on forums why it was not able to handle all that. Oh, I got a bin. Boop. Goodbye, that one. Oh, okay. But yeah, that it was trying to do it through the CPU, and it was like, this needs to be a GPU thing, according to someone on a forum somewhere. I was like, well, that's unfortunate because I could do a lot of the legwork on like my sketchbook and then import it and then just convert it to curves and clean up the curves, right? Ideally. But I just stopped using that for doing that, and everything is fine. Inkscape is great at everything else except for that one thing. What did I decide? I got distracted. What did I decide I was trying to do with it? Right, a very small constant warble of light instead of a few major flickers of light. Okay, that is the goal. So, like, probably 2 watts of difference total. Oh, that's still pretty intense. 8, actually, is what I mean. And then we'll go to frame 25 just for testing. Yeah, okay. So it's not as aggressive, it's not as flashy. but I think that as a constant throughout the entire animation, this might look a little better. So we're going to copy and paste that across the whole timeline and see. Yeah, but rewriting an entire program's core functionality to run on GPU isn't an easy task for a number of reasons. It's easy to ask for, much harder to deliver on. Yeah, I would not force that upon them for this. Like, as far as I understand, it's just this one feature that isn't like critical to most workflows. It's very like niche, because what you want to do when you're doing vector art anyway is kind of measure where your lines are going to be. So unless you're like with the use case for free-handed converted to messy vector points is probably not a great workflow to begin with, unless you're trying to use that end result art, hand-drawn art, for like scalable, I don't know what. Yeah, for scalable things that you need to like be able to export many different resolution versions of, right, as vectors can do. But yeah, I think most workflows aren't going to really need it. So I don't really blame them. All right, what am I doing? I should probably go ahead and make the key for the other light to do the same thing. 10, 8, bam, and 10, key. And we'll set our timeline back to normal. Grab this light. I'm not going to do this to every single candle because, you know, sanity. But I think this is enough. What? Why didn't it do it to the one candle? You're both selected. Okay. Let me try that again. Okay, now it's working. Seemingly it works. Okay. Are those supposed to be Dia de los Muertos skulls? Not necessarily. It's just hard to make a... I didn't want it to be very high resolution with a lot of sculpted curve, because that introduces a lot more, because it's voxels, it introduces a lot more edges, right? And those edges mean noise, visual noise. So I tried to make them flat and then just sort of paint on a little bit of shadow, hint of shadow. And then when we repaleted everything to be this very high saturated thing, those painted shadows got hit by that as well. So it wasn't intended to be Dia de los Muertos necessarily, but I guess it kind of comes off that way. Maybe I should have leaned into it and like really painted them. That would have made them like really cool, although that would probably have made them pull too much of the attention over into just this one corner, because there's not a lot of painterly detail on a lot of things except for the rug and the wallpaper, which take up enough space to, you know, justify that level of detail. And there we go. Our candles have a little bit of moving light, just a little bitty bit of moving light. Now, I'm gonna check our list. We've got that. I guess we can do the... Yeah, we'll just leave that alone. Maybe we can put a little float on the clouds. And try to grab both of these at once. And key your just your location. We're not going to do any rotating. Maybe this should happen incredibly slowly though. I'm going to grab this and pull it down a little bit, and maybe even pull one of you down even further. Try to avoid tangents. Okay. Key your position again. Location, yes. And copy. And was it 240, I think, would be the place? And paste it. How do I feel about that? I'm not sure. I think I'm good with it. I think I'm good with that. Just a little bit of motion. Nope, not what I meant to do. Am I not actually on frame 240 with that? I am now. Is it moving too much? Like the top cloud? Yeah, I think the top cloud is moving way too much. You are going to instead go up. And key your location. And kill all of these frames. We don't need those. Let's try that. Yeah, okay, I think I'm cool with that. And then I'm just going to take your timeline and make it off kilter with the first cloud. Let's see how that does. I think I like that. I think I like that. Okay. Oh, where's that frame? Okay, we're on the right frame. Just going to paste it. And I think that does it. Is that everything on our list? Yep. We're not doing sparkles inside the program because I'm not willing to fight it anymore. So I guess we're going to save before we render in case I start a fire. And then I'm going to turn this off. I don't actually want that in there. I think we're going to do the whole backdrop. Since it's just a flat image, just so I have some gradient control, because I might actually do like a pixel dithering effect back there. Starting a fire is the fun part. Starting a fire in someone else's house is a fun part. Starting a fire in my house is not so fun. Okay, I'm just checking our compositing to make sure everything is still hooked up. Okay. Fingers crossed. Wait. One more thing. And make sure our stuff is going to the right place. That was that broken video from the other day. Just going to call this Cozy Room 1. Cozy Room Render. Actually, that's fine. That is totally fine. And everything else seems good to me. Frame end at 600, frame rate at 24. That's what we've been actually seeing, right, in here? Yeah, I think we're 1-to-1 on that. Good deal. Yep. Everything looks, yep. One more save for paranoia. You can tell I'm very nervous about rendering. All right. And now we pray. So, tell me about the weather. Tell me how it is. Because we're going to be here for a minute. Gonna enjoy my tea. I'm kind of fond of how the blend effect hits the cat. Not blend, bloom. The bloom. Plot twist, all this saving lights. SSD on fire. That would be the cruelest irony. My computer is eventually just like, you've tried to save this massive file every 15 seconds for the past hour. That came at a cost. Ooh, I'm starting to see other areas of my computer slow down, so that's always fun. I wonder if y'all get to hear like a glitchy version of me. Oh no, I see something I don't like. No. Oh, is it too late? I mean, we're only like 8 frames into a 600 frame render. Hold on. Stop everything. One more thing. The little animated avatar is stuttering weirdly. Voice is fine. That's good. Yeah, the little avatar has been fussy the past few days. I don't know what's up, but I'm honestly probably going to try a different model or a different app for running it, because intermittently it seems like the mic, it just stops picking it up. And I don't know what causes it, but I'm also not in the mood to fight it. So. What was it I didn't like? This. I just realized that I don't like this being here. And the reason for that is, before I just like start making up excuses for nothing, it's that this cobweb, I've been like, what's wrong with it this whole time? I just haven't like decided on what it is I didn't like and wanted to change today. I think it's that it's the same kind of color as our frame, and I could visually separated it if I just moved it over here and then brought this plant over here. So it's not like I was just stammering for nothing. So I'm just going to switch these around and see how that feels. Oh, but then you lose it entirely. No, that's not how I thought that was going to play out. Oh, that would be an entire model restructure. And then this kind of becomes noisy, doesn't it? I guess if I pull it further away. Oh, but then it's not even underneath anymore. Oh, I shouldn't have messed with anything. I like this being over here. It gets lost completely, given the perspective. Dang. Okay, that's fine. I shouldn't have touched nothing. Save it one more time. Okay, yes. Here we go. You can hear the SSD crying out in pain. It's like, please, I promise, you're not going to lose that much progress. I can't take it anymore. Stop panic saving. Okay, first thing I'm noticing is that the pages seem to be doing what we wanted them to do. Just to repeat this, because like this is a weird one. The book page animation, every frame of the animation is a unique voxel object that I am just keying the visibility on to make them appear and disappear at the right time. Which means it's not possible to test it. You can't see it in the viewport render mode. The only way to actually preview this happening is to render the animation. And I was like, you know what? We're going to operate on blind faith that it's going to do what I want it to do. But so far, it looks like it's doing it. So I'm just going to hope that that continues. I guess while it's rendering, I can think about what worked, what didn't. So I'm not going to change some of this stuff by now. Maybe I should zoom this out so we can both watch this frame by frame happen. Oh, we're going to be here for a bit. But it has to happen. I wonder if it's the bloom slowing it down. I'm also noticing that the laptop light cast didn't show up. And you know what? Whatever. I don't want it anymore. Yes, okay, there's frame 1 of the book turn. That's good. I think. But yeah, as a postmortem, maybe I should have rigged the cat and added some, I don't know, some visual variety. It's very monochromatic, and given its brightness, it's impossible to tell any internal details as the cat goes. And maybe delete the internal faces connecting the tail segments so that they don't layer that way. There were a lot of internal faces that probably could have been deleted and cleared up some of the visual detail of the cat. What else? How to stack multiple fire particle emitters without having to rebuild the entire structure of the emitter for every copy. Like how to copy and paste an emitter and then just tweak the settings of the emitter itself. Like what we wound up doing was making 3 layers of an invisible plane, and I scaled each following plane down so that the fire would taper upwards like I wanted. But the original intent was to have 3 particle emitters of much the same structure, referencing the same collection, all of that, and then just reduce like the scale and yeah, probably just the scale on the way up. But I think our workaround isn't terribly bad. An invisible plane? Yes, I must be Wonder Woman. Yep, or I tick that little box in the particle emitter that says show emitter, so it doesn't show. I wish I had an actual invisible plane. Only if it would make me also invisible. Otherwise, like, it sounds very vulnerable to be hanging out as an entirely visible person in an invisible jet. It's one of the weirdest things about the Wonder Woman lore to me. Everything else kind of makes more sense to like where her character comes from. Wonder what the origin of that was. Other things I could have done better. I like that the window was able to cast shadow in the end, like the little window frame shadow. I just think that it's not enough of a value difference. It seemed like it was at its brightest in the shader. Like it should be one of the brightest things in there. But it didn't wind up showing up that much against the rugs, conflicting detail. It gets a little bit muddled. And the other windows cast shadow gets a little lost against the fireplace and its own light going on. It causes some extra noise that doesn't seem necessary to have. Overall, I think if I changed like how I brought things over from Magicavoxel, the importer that I shared does allow you to separate material by color, which would have allowed me to have more in Blender color control for this. As it is, I had to make all of the color decisions within Magicavoxel for my sanity and then import it all as like a single vertex color, which did not allow for any like fine color control once I got it in here. But it did allow me to very much more easily apply one shader with uniform behavior across the whole of the scene. Things that I might do in the future if I do this or something like this of this scale again would be to save out several files and then have the material per color import so that I can piecemeal import and set them up. I'm not sure. I'm still not sure what the solution is there exactly. Like a very sane way of getting all of those materials imported individually and then applying the shader across all of them. It's not really there's not really a way to batch process all of those materials to have the shader and reference the right material. What else could have been done differently? I think I'm happy with most of the project on the whole. Aside from some material shenanigans and light intensity that I can't seem to make any stronger, then I think this was a good project for just getting me back into Blender after being just a voxel person for so long. All right, we are 69 frames in. Nice. Nope, 70. Dang it. How long have I been using Blender? Off and on for years. Not an expert by any means. I've always used it like as a tool for post-processing or something for something else. Like it's never been the start to finish Blender project, you know? Oh, 60. I'm not hip. I'm not with the times. I'm sorry. I'm too old to get it. But yeah, I would like to use Blender more from start to finish. Start doing some like low poly, you know? Do some game dev. I'd like to get into Godot. And I feel like I'm going to have to get into, at least to some extent, into Unreal. I'm going to have to understand Unreal eventually. So I need to get a good workflow going in Blender such that I can make and export some models for game dev. That's the plan. I've already been drawing critters in the background just to have something to model next. And I think with like just a few days left of spooky season, yeah, we got a couple days left. I've drawn a little, you know, those little eyeball bat enemies that you see in some video games. I'm gonna try to make a little cutesy, low poly one of those, and then rig and animate it. And then hopefully, if it gets far enough, I can try to pull it into Unreal or something, just to see how it works. Oh goodness, we are only 90 frames of a 600 frame animation. It might be worth taking a break, getting some more tea going. I hope y'all don't mind. I think I'll do that. I'm going to, do I want to put the little break card up or just leave it up and going? Yeah, I'll put the little break card up. It might make some things easier. I'm going to let this run, get some tea, maybe get a snack. And when the render is finished, I'll come back and start wrapping this animation up in Clip Studio. See y'all in a little while. Okay, finally done. Just a moment. Okay. While this was happening, I had a realization, and we're about to find out if I'm right or wrong, that I might not be able to use this render. But we're gonna see. We're gonna try, at least. First, I'm gonna see if it actually, like, went through all the way. Where's my little room file? There we go, and the render should be in here. And okay. So are you realizing what I've realized? This is an opaque background. I can't use this as an MP4. I should have known. I have done this before. Okay. Just to at least demo what it is that makes that not work. So maybe somebody else sees this and knows not to do this. Smaller render for a test run. I know what went wrong and I know how to fix it. The only thing that I needed to do differently was render out the individual PNG frames that could hold alpha. And then I would be able to use this. Where's my Open Clip Studio file? So the plan, not this, is to make a new animation. I'm just going to show you what I'm going to do off stream because I don't feel like inflicting this on y'all later. Because we're going to have to wait for a whole nother render to do this. Make our animation to be the same size. 2000 resolution. I think it was like 300 dpi. That's probably way too high though. We'll go for 144. A frame rate of 24 frames per second, which is exactly the same as we have in Blender. Okay it, and then import. Not that. Import movie. Not this. I'm looking for Cozy Spooky Room MP4. And then that should automatically populate on the timeline. And then we can just add a static image underneath it where we draw in a pretty little background and then animate our sparkles on this layer and import the frames, the sparkle frames that we made earlier in Sprite. And then everything would work perfectly. So for today, you get to see the animation play out with all of with even the page turn working and all of that. But if you want to see it with the pretty background and the sparkles, it will have to be tomorrow. Sorry for making y'all wait all this time for a render that didn't actually go through. But thanks for coming to hang out. And I will have this wrapped up by tomorrow. And then we can move on to probably making some low poly creatures. And yeah, on to the next thing. I hope you have a good rest of your day. And I'll see y'all tomorrow.